Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss another very important example related to MCP tool that can help us to append the data into a file. Okay, so this is a very you can say real world scenario, because most of the time when we are writing the data to files, we prefer to keep the old data and then we write the new one. That means we would like to append the data, right? So far whatever operations we have performed regarding the MCP tool file operation, we were either reading the data from the file or we were writing the data by overwriting the existing data. But this time we are going to focus on data appending. So we will see how we can append the data to the existing file and what are the syntax or structure that we are supposed to follow. So by the end of this session you will be able to understand like what is the procedure for writing the data to the existing file and without overwriting the existing data. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, so that things would be much more easier for you, because all the topics that we are discussing here are somehow connected with the previous one. And for that you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find thousands of sessions, around 3,800 plus sessions are there, available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can easily consume the content according to your preference. And in case if there are any kind of query or questions or suggestion related to the session, that you can discuss through comment section. Okay, alright, so let's get start the session. And first thing that I want to show you is the file where we want to append the data. So this is the file notes.txt which we created in our last session, and we will utilize the same file because it has one row that says this is my first line. Okay, now our agenda is that we want to add the second line to this file, but also we don't want to really remove this first line. Okay, so we don't want to replace the existing file content. Instead of that, we want to add the new line to this file, and that is called append operation. So for that, what we will do, firstly we will create the server. So here you can see for MCP11 server.py, firstly we are importing the one tool, that is FastMCP. So FastMCP is basically a tool that will help us to create the server for our application. So you can see MCP equal FastMCP file append server. Okay, now what is this file append server? It is nothing but the name of the server, so it's a unique identity for our server. After that, on line number 24 we are using one decorator, that is for mcp.tool. So what this decorator will do, it will just instruct this program that after that whatever function we are writing is not a normal function, it's a function that acts as a tool. Okay, so that's why we have added the tool function here. Now after that we have defined our method that is for append file, and this method is also receiving the two input parameter, one is file name, another one is content. Now file name is as its name suggests, like file in which file you want to write the data, and content is something what type of data you want to write. Okay, like what exactly the data you want to write in your file. So it basically accepts the two input parameter and return the string after processing some process. Now below to this you can see we have this try block and except blocks. So in try block we are doing some operation on file. So with open file name A. Now what is this A? It's a append mode. So it is basically instructing the file that we want to append, not write, not read. Okay, as F. Now instead of F you can write any word, but I just kept it as small, and then later f.write as content. Okay, so whatever information we have received as a content will be stored or will be written in this file, appended in this file. and after that we will just simply return one message, successfully appended to the file name. So whatever the file name is, it is appended to that. In case if there is any error in try block, that means if in this part if there is any error occur, so it will simply show the message error appending to the file and the file name and the error. Okay, so this is just the error handling part, not a part of MCP. Alright, but yeah, it's always recommended to do proper error handling whenever you are utilizing even MCP tools also. Okay, that's why we are writing it here. So this server file is ready. Now we'll go to the client file and we'll see like how we can perform the operation. So for client file, you can see we have imported something like async.async.io and client session, studio server parameters, studio client. So these are all things that we have already imported. Now after that we have main function, that is async main, where we are configuring the server parameters. So I just simply pass two things to studio server parameter. One is commands, that is Python, and another one is argument, that is MCP11 server.py. Okay, so this thing is ready. Now next what we have this few steps that help us to connect the server with the client. So for that, what we are doing, we are just simply looking at this async. We are just writing async with studio client server param as read write, async with client session read write as a session, then await session dot initialize and print the message connection successful. So till here, once we reach this line, that means we are ready with the program in basic connection, and it is now connected successfully. Now after that, we are adding a new line to notes.txt file. As I showed, this is the file which we will be using, and it will add data to this file. So here you can see we are simply using await session.call tool. Okay, so it will call the tool append file. Okay, and append file is nothing but a name, so we are appending it. Then arguments, file name has notes.txt, and content is, this is my second line. So in notes.txt file, it will add this is my second line, and then we will simply print the result by fetching the value from the list. So print result.content of 0.txt. So whatever output we will receive from here will be printed on the screen. Okay, so I think syntax and structure wise everything is clear. Still, if you have any question or if you want to ask anything, feel free to reach out to me through comment section. I would be more than happy to answer all your questions. Okay, alright, so now we will see how we can execute it. So execute, like you can just run the command python mcp11 client.py, and then you can press enter. So once you press enter, within a few seconds it will show you this message like correction successful append notes.txt. Okay, now to verify the thing, we will go to the notes.txt file, and here you can clearly see second line is added. This is my second line. Okay, that means data is appended, otherwise it could have added somewhere else. It could have removed this, right? But it is not removing it, it is adding it actually. Even if you call it again, it will add another line. If you call it again, so as many times as you call this program, it will add this line to the program. Okay, so I think this part is clear to all of you, like how to verify. Now just think about all those real life scenarios where you want to implement the file append operation, particularly for the MCP tool. Okay, so that this part you can refer, and in that situation, like you can easily utilize this concept. So yeah, that's all for today. I think this session is clear to all of you, and in next session we will discuss few more other thing. But before that, there is one question for all of you, and this question I have mainly prepared for preparing you for the interviews and examination. So here you can clearly see that we are using we have noted down the question: what file mode did we use in MCP 10 to write to a file? Okay, and which override the existing data. So I just want to know I just want the name of that file. Okay, that mode, like which mode we are utilizing for appending the for writing the data, not appending. Appending we covered in this session. For writing the data. Okay, so keep sharing your knowledge in the comment section, because when you share the answer in the comment section, it has 3 benefits. What? First, like it will help you to recall the concept in timely manner. Second, if let's say if someone is there who don't know the answer of this question, so they can directly refer the comment section for their reference. And third thing is, when you are consistently sharing the comments, it gives me the notification that you guys are referring these series, and accordingly I release more sessions to this playlist. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.